review videos, do they tend to focus on the negative versus focusing on the positive? And,
oh, yeah.
and do you as you know, when you're working with the coaches, do you encourage them to focus on some of the positive aspects to make that whole process more positive?
Yeah, they're hard on themselves for sure. There's a lot wrapped. I mean, over time, it gets to where it's not so hard. But the first watch, and we talk about doing a first watch and a second watch. The first watch can be difficult because you've got all the issues around what you're wearing and how you look, and you know, you got to go to the gym that night. You know, you have all those issues, and then the class doesn't look. It's unsettling. It doesn't look like the way you know. Even hearing your voice on a recording sometimes sounds strange. So
right.
You have all those sort of disorienting things. So as a coach, one of the things we found is that it's very important in our experience for the coach and teacher to watch it separately first.
Interesting.
So we don't sit down and say, let's go through the video together. Now with your bookmarking, you could have it queued up that if we want to talk about it, we can talk about this.
Right.
But we found that when we sat down and talked about it, when the coaches sat down and talked about it together, the conversations were kind of halting and stilted and not very productive. And then we would interview the teachers, and the conversations would be a lot lively. They had a lot to say, but but the process of watching it with the person wasn't as powerful as you watch it. I'll watch it, and then we'll get together and we'll talk about it.
And you just mentioned that the first watch, second watch, is that something that you encourage that even the teacher or somebody who is using the video, they watch it themselves 2 times, where they get kind of past the initial reactions first, and then the second time they can focus on some of the details?
Well, as we talked before, time is a real issue. So you have to figure out, it's ideally, yes, it would be better. I mean, one option we suggest is that the coach teach the class after they've video recorded the class, and the teacher sits in the back of the class with their headphones in, and while the coach is teaching the class, the teacher watches the video. Interesting. So that we can take the issue of time off the table. I mean, the coach has to be capable of doing that, feel comfortable, and the teacher has to be comfortable. But when they're both okay with that, that's a way you can address it. But I mean, you can I think watching there's so many ways you can do it. I mean, you could, like, one thing I did is I just video recorded the first 5 minutes of a presentation. I had 3 days where I was doing the same presentation twice. So I had 6 versions of the same presentation. So I video recorded the first 5 to 10 minutes, and then at lunchtime I would watch the video, and then I would alter the way I began it. And then after that night I would watch it, and so by the time I had watched 6 different iterations, I had pinned it down. So that's another option too.